Welcome to Networking with Nathaniel. My mic is on. A podcast where I get to talk to real estate investors, entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are just growing. So if that is you, if you can check any of those boxes, you have come to the right place. I am Nathaniel Hovsepian, host of Nathaniel, Networking with Nathaniel. Go figure. I am a health and wellness coach for busy dads. I am a real estate investor, but more importantly, a husband and a father. I help dads lose weight, reclaim their energy, reclaim their mental focus, become leaders for their families, showing them what health and wellness looks like. But this show is not about me. It is about the amazing guests that I mentioned at the top of this little monologue. The people that I get to talk to that come on and share their successes, share their struggles, what's working, what's not working, and how they've overcome them, the things that are working in their business and in their lives. Before we introduce the guest today, if you are just joining us for the first time and you are not yet subscribed, subscribe please, so you can get notified about the future videos, the amazing guests that we're having on. This is episode 99. Episode 100 is next week. We are flipping the script, actually. I'm going to be interviewed by a former guest that you'll have to wait to find out who that is. If you haven't already done so, please like the video. It helps us reach more people, and make sure that you're leaving comments, being active in the chat. If you have any questions, drop them in here and we will get to asking our guest those questions for you. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Carly Grundmann, a real estate investor, entrepreneur, a mom of 2 little girls, 8 and 5 years old. And I saw for sure 2 dogs at least before we started the show. Welcome, Carly. Appreciate you being here.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm honored. Taking time out of your busy day, running the different businesses, being the full-time mom that you are. I know it's summertime, so the little ladies are at home right now, if they're not always at home, like ours are that are younger. But, you know, there's a lot going on there. And I do look forward to diving into how you're managing all of that. But what are you working on? And I think there might be a transition coming, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So, well, thank you for having me, Nathaniel. You are absolutely right on all of the above. I am right now what I'm working on. I'm always working on things. I've got a lot going on, as any entrepreneur does.
Yeah.
But within the creative finance Subto Pace Morby space, I've kind of been known as the RV gal. And one of my growing up, I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. And for those of you guys that don't know, down south in Utah has like 5 national parks. So we always had, my dad was a car guy. And so we always had something with wheels to travel in. So it was like a motorhome or a camper. And then we had quads and 4-wheelers and all that. So we'd always go down south. And I had the literal best childhood just playing in Southern Utah in the quads in the 90s. And so when I joined Subto, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. You can take over people's payments with houses. And I was like, I asked Pace, I'm like, you think we can do it with a car? And he had not done it yet. But he because this was a while ago. This was like before he had done everything that he's done. And so he's like, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And I ended up getting 2 RVs creatively. One, I got paid to buy $10,000 in my first wholesale deal. So that was pretty cool. And then another one, my lifelong dream was to get in one of those camper vans. Ours is blue and we have little girls. So her name is Bluey.
Oh, Bluey. Yeah.
And the other brown one is, I'm sure it's going to be really hard to guess, but that's Bingo. So we've named our RVs. Nice. So I've been getting creative RVs, renting them out. The van has absolutely killed it. And so this month we will make $10,000 on a RV rental. And so a lot of people are like, yeah, the Airbnb space is over, a lot of people say. But this is kind of flipping to the RV space. People always are going to want to go on adventures. So that's what I've been working on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've launched Wheel Estate, which is to show people how to do it. I was just telling you backstage, my goal my whole business is my whole umbrella business is called Building an Empire. My goal is to help Nathaniel. If you want to learn how to do something I've done, let me help you. I want to help you. So everything I do a little training. I'll do a live training. It's like tailored to the people there, and then people can rewatch it if they want, but then I'm on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, everyone's like, so I'm selling my RV business. I'm selling my my RVs, and everyone's like, why are you selling this if it's so successful? So, that's
I'm bored. It sounds like
I am just ADD. I figured it. I had a challenge. I figured it out. I killed it. And
yeah.
that's exactly it. Like,
Yeah.
I need something else. I need a big challenge.
Are you selling your business creatively?
The business, yes.
Okay.
The RV, no, because I got a loan sponsor, and the loan sponsor wants their money back. So,
Gotcha.
yes.
Yeah. So explain to me, because I'm very unfamiliar with this, what is it Turo that you can rent out cars? You have a car and you go rent your car out. Is that kind of a similar thing you're doing with the RV? Somebody goes, "Hey, I'm in Salt Lake City. I want to go down to Zion for the week.
Yeah.
Let me have Bluey, please."
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly like that. I've never used Turo. There's
Oh, yeah.
Outdoorsy is an app. It's like
Okay.
the RV app, RV Share, RVZ, Outdoorsy. It's like the VRBO Turo of the motor home
Gotcha.
land. So
Yeah, so you didn't, and you're using what you understand about acquiring a property.
yes.
You do as property, and then you're plugging into the system that's already there. You're just acquiring it for little, no, or even money in your pocket down,
Yeah.
and then plugging into this ecosystem that's already built.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely. So it's really nice, especially with RVs. Like, how many people do you drive along? Just look, you're going to start noticing as you're driving down your neighborhood, how many RVs are sitting in a driveway collecting dust? Like, do you have one? Like, there's so, and let me ask you this. If you were to sell your RV right now, have you
Yeah.
looked into it? Are you upside down? Would it cost you money to sell it?
We paid. It's actually, I
Oh.
guess technically it's not an RV. It's a camper. We
Same.
bought it for cash, and I couldn't tell you. It's probably been almost 2 years since it's gotten used,
Yeah.
and
And
so it's just sitting out there, not doing well.
that's what everyone does. I'm like, you can just rent. They can have other people,
Yeah.
pay you to use it.
Yeah.
But
If
what's
anybody
really
out there
nice?
wants a camper, just come. You can have it. Get it
Just
off the
hook
road.
it up.
Yeah, just
It, you're smart. You bought it for cash because so many people get loans on it and then they're upside down. Like, they say for creative real estate, the best way is like they were low equity or there's pain. 99.99% of RVs are in pain. They're like, I don't use it. I'm upside down. And then it breaks. It's a depreciating asset. So it's something you have to keep in mind.
You mentioned the teaching this now. Is this something you've taught already and people could go back and rewatch things, or is this to come?
So I have done over time, I've kind of been pigeonholed as the RV girl. So I'll do like random live trainings and people can raise their hand and ask. And I'm like, listen, I'm an open book. I'm not a gatekeeper here.
Yeah.
And so after I decided I was going to sell the business, I'm like, I need to do something that is going to live forever and it's not all over the place. So, starting Saturday, I'm doing an 8-week live cohort. So anybody that signs up, is if they go to rvrentalroadmap.com, they can sign up and it's just tailored to them. And then people later can watch the replays, but I'm not going to do a live tailored for each person type thing.
Yeah.
Well, I probably will if you want to hire me for a consulting situation, but it's not going to be cheap because I want to keep, I want to keep the filters. I want to keep my eye on the future and what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause this here for a quick Fit
Yeah.
Fatherhood advertisement.
If you're a busy dad or you know one that is looking to focus on their health and their wellness, the Fit Fatherhood community might be just for you. It's said that when we have our health, it frees us up to have many, many goals, but when we don't, we only focus on the one. So we're focused on keeping our health and wellness as a top priority in Fit Fatherhood. We've built this community of busy dads, all like-minded, looking to grow and flourish and be great examples for our families of what health and wellness looks like. So if that's you, or you know somebody who that might be for, follow the link in the description and come join the Fit Fatherhood Facebook group today. Let's get back to the show.
You mentioned there before we went on that little break, kind of keeping the blinders on is what you motioned there. And
Focused. Yes.
that's very difficult for people, especially getting started out in
Yes.
real estate, because there are so many ways that you can, I'm not in love with the term, but skin the cat, make money in real estate. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about it. Is there anything that you've done that has helped you to put those blinders on and stay focused? Because I know that you're a serial entrepreneur. And you mentioned your ADHD, your ADD, like, I just want to go,
Yeah.
go. How have you stayed focused and been able to say no to a lot of other things?
I think you have to not get focused to understand the importance of staying focused. I help Pace run the Gator community, and I was just doing the Gator orientation, and I'm like, you guys, focus. Focus stands for focus on one course until successful. And this one gal, I'm like, you just paid a lot of money to join Gator. And this one gal's like, what about bird dogging? What about the man versus what about this? And I'm like, it's so easy to get, especially in our communities where Pace is always doing something.
Yeah.
And I think it's to get scatterbrained and to realize and to spin your wheels is the best way to keep yourself focused, because you're going to be like, what have I done for the last year? At least people can't tell me what to do. I have to do it. I have to make the mistake myself. So if anyone's like me, but if you're not that person, just 30, 60, 90, 1 year, 5 year goals, look at them every single day and keep your eye on the prize and say, and if you're going to do something, say, does this contribute to my purpose? Does this contribute to my goals? Does this keep me, is this on track or off track? I think are the other things that I do too, is stay focused on the goals. Every day, look at your goals. How close are you?
Keep them top of mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What can somebody do to kind of help them find their purpose? This is something that I think a lot of people, hey, I want to get out of my W-2. Okay, you got out of your W-2. Now what?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a tough question. I feel like that is a very loaded question, and it's different for everyone. I'm 42, I think, or 3. I don't know how old I am anymore.
We don't need to tell.
And it's taken me that many years to figure it out. Literally.
Yeah.
It's taken me until my 40s to figure it out. But I think what I have learned to help find my purpose is what lights me up. If it's not, I don't know. I've done all the personality tests, and I don't know if you've heard of My Human Design, but I am a generator, which means I can generate so much energy, but if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no for me. Like, I have to feel all into it. And so I just asked myself, where do I feel like I am living in the present moment? Where am I the happiest? What moves me to tears that makes, like, for my purpose? And what is at the core of me? And I think that's what people just have to ask. It's like, if you had could do if you had 2 days to live, what would you do? And how would you spend your money? And how would you spend your time? And that can help start to uncover maybe people's purposes.
And I play that question in my head right now as you're saying it, and my answer was very sad.
What is it?
No, it's not sad, but it's like, I just want to hang out with my wife and kids. That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's not sad. That is like, your life is that kid, family first, family and God first for me. And it's the other day I had to make a decision, and I'm like, I can put my work first, or I can put my kids first right now. And I've put my kids first, and my work first for the last 3 years. And the other day I've been really diving into this, and I'm like, I'm putting my kids first today. Like, if my job or my, my whatever I'm pursuing, if I died tomorrow, So what?
Yeah.
But my
I
kids will
I've
always have
I
a
I don't, I
mommy
think
one.
I've said it on here before, is that, we have, of course, we have these business goals, we have these career goals that we want to accomplish. But, for the other parents that are out here listening now or in the future, we build a multi-million dollar business. Sweet, great.
Mhm.
But if in 15,
For what?
20 years we've built that business and our kids don't even recognize us because we haven't been pouring into them, for me, and it sounds like for you, what the heck was the point?
What is the
I-
point?
yeah.
Money? What? So
Yeah.
you can keep up with the Joneses and be like, my boat is bigger than yours? Like who
My
cares?
RV.
At the end of the day, why are we even here?
Right.
It's not to show
Yeah.
off your $1 million bank account.
Yeah. Unless
So,
you're, uh, what's his name? Bezos. And yeah,
unless you're Bezos, then
yeah.
he's on a whole different level.
You have this, you're starting it in 4 days, 3 days, whatever, however you want to count. On Saturday of this week, this 8-week cohort that you're starting.
Yeah.
Is that something that, where could you mentioned it, where could people go sign up for that first off?
Oh,
When is it, it's going to be every Saturday at a specific time, or is that up in the air?
so where people can find out more, it's RV Rental Roadmap. And it's not it is a price, but it's not a huge price grab by any means. And there's payments. So if you guys are interested in that. Secondly, it starts on Saturday, and then whoever signs up, this is very much tailored for the people that sign up. So I'm going to be like, what is best for you guys? And work on
Okay.
our schedules. And then we'll record all of it and they can do it. So this is very much, whoever's doing this is very much a tailored for each person thing. So they can raise their hands and they can be like, I need questions, or can you help me with this? So it's up to them.
Yeah.
We will have a Saturday morning call where we all talk, but where we get together and decide, but it's going to be up to everyone. And
Very cool.
so it's
Yeah,
very
I love it.
tailored
Yeah.
to each person.
RV rental roadmap.
Yes.
I will do my best to put that in the show notes too for anybody that
you.
wants to go there, but just check it out, or you can go to, right over there. The ID.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Point everywhere. You'll get somewhere. You'll point to it.
What is you're phasing out of the RV side of things?
Yeah.
Have you already identified what the next move for Carly is, or is this, you're going to take some
Yes.
time? What does that look like?
I am moving on to something along the lines of affordable. It's a lot mixed into one. Affordable housing, RV, motorhome parks, manufactured home parks, kind of going into that. I've noticed in a lot of I'm from Idaho, outside of McCall, outside of Sun Valley, all of these resorts where people are going, probably Aspen, like places like that. Everybody's got a second home. Everybody's Airbnb-ing, and workforce housing is brutal. People can't afford to live. There's no place to live because everyone's got a second home that they're Airbnb-ing it, and the workers don't have anywhere to live. So I am working on, this is what my goal is to find maybe old defunct RV parks, motorhome parks, somewhere that's, maybe they're not defunct, but it's already developed. They have water, sewer, gas, septic, whatever it is, slips, and to build like workforce housing. So like tiny homes on there. And it can be, so it's like the lifties at ski resorts and the people serving bartending, and a lot of people are only there in those resort towns for the winter or for the summer or for the season. So that's where I'm moving into.
I like it.
So
Is it something that you've done already, or just like
no, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I love it. Yeah.
Just like the RVs. It's
Yeah,
a
that's
good
what I was gonna
challenge
say.
for me.
Yeah.
So,
What is there a something that we could quantify, like a goal wise number? I want to house, and I'm just going to throw a number out, like 5,000 workforce employees, something along those lines, or is this still kind of a work in progress?
This is a work in progress. This is probably the way I do things, and it drives a lot of people nuts, especially those planners. And it's like the very type A personality. I'm very like, let's just see where it goes type thing. So I know that 5,000 might be a lot because there's small resort towns that we're looking into, but mostly just start with one, see where it goes, and no, which
Learn
is
a bunch of stuff, see how you
yeah,
can iterate on the next one. Yeah, I
yeah.
like that.
So
Awesome.
I don't know if that's smart or not, but that's how I do things.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've learned a lot over your career so far that you're going to be able to apply to this new venture. It's just going to be kind of the nuts and the bolts, so to speak, of how to navigate this space. What
For sure.
what have you learned from, the real estate, the RV, building those businesses up that you can see as, okay, these are going to be kind of roadblocks that I'm going to have to navigate right now for this
Yes.
affordable housing thing?
Um, so I think it's a completely different thing. But I do know, and I'm in sub two, and I'm so grateful that there's so many people that know what they're doing
Yeah.
in stuff like that. And I can be like, hey, can we talk for a minute, or is there a Zoom on this? So right now, what I'm looking into, I've talked to Chris Craig. If you guys don't know him and you're in sub two, he does a tiny home Zoom on Thursdays. He's an
Okay.
amazing knowledge for that. I've talked to him a lot. It sounds like development is tough, especially in resort towns where everybody, I don't know, everyone's got an opinion on what you do with your land. So
Yeah.
I try to stay in Idaho where there's more land rights. But I think the development, so what I'm doing to overcome that is I don't want to develop right away. I feel like that is like phase 5. Like I want to find already developed properties, maybe an RV park that is not doing so hot, or where it's the water, sewer, gas, and all the development's already done, so we're just getting the stuff put on there. I have experience with the short-term rentals, midterm rentals, corporate housing, and then also the RV stuff. So that's that knowledge on understanding. I feel like I've figured out the psychology of how to get people to book on those sites.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I have a marketing background. I have a degree in marketing. So I think that's also helpful.
You
So
know what? I just thought of a really good resource for you, and I don't know what episode it is, but networking with Nathaniel about 10 episodes ago,
yes,
Michelle Basson was on.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
She is amazing. She's phenomenal. I'm just
Yeah.
lucky to even know her and that she knows me. She's a
She
great
she
resource.
had she talked about some things that I had never even thought of
Yeah.
in the RV space, and curating the amenities and the park to the specific avatar
Yes.
of clientele that you want, and then being
Yes.
able to have multiple sources of revenue being generated from these different things. I never even thought of a restaurant,
Yes.
as part of an RV park. Like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So she's what she's doing, and what they are doing in the RV space is pretty incredible. So there's probably some things that you could definitely
Yes. They're just like
collab
everybody
on.
thinks there's like of one stream of income. You can have a
Yeah.
laundromat, you can have a general store. I think she makes 100 grand a year on some ice machines. I saw her
Yeah,
put
like,
on like,
yeah,
like eat firewood. What do you guys want? S'mores store, whatever it
yep,
is, you put it there and people will buy it
yeah.
probably
It's
with
it's
RV
the
park.
it's I joined Sub 2, oh, gosh, over 3 years ago at this point,
Mhm.
because I was wholesaling and I wanted to get better at sales for one, but I wanted to
Yes.
add creative finance into my tool belt, so to speak. And just all the different things. One of them you mentioned, the community of people that are out there crushing it in different spaces and being able to talk to them and pick their brains.
Yes.
There's just so many. Once you learn one thing creatively, it opens your eyes up to all the different things creatively. And I'm still on a weekly basis going, oh man, I never even thought that you could do that. Like I
Yeah.
guarantee there's people that are going to listen to this episode and go, wait, you can buy RVs creatively and go rent them out to people and make money off of that. What the heck? That's
Wild.
yeah. Yeah.
It's such a great stepping stone for people like, we both have been wholesalers. It can be tough getting a house wholesale deal because you
Yeah.
really have to dig into pain and there's a lot of competition. With RVs, if you're trying to get your first deal, you could wholesale RVs because the pain is
Mm,
there.
yeah.
Just like you proved it. You're like, do you want to come get it? Take it. Like,
Yeah.
like people are like, I'll give this away for free at this
Yeah.
point, So it's a good way to also like get your foot in the door. Obviously, it's not an appreciating asset. You're not going to make as much as a house, but it's a good stepping stone to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all the little skills that you learn, the getting over talking to somebody else on the phone or in person and
Yes.
navigating those conversations. It's all applicable moving forward, whatever venture you get into. So I
Yes.
love that. I'm curious how, you're a full-time mom, you've
Mhm.
got these businesses that you're running, you're selling one to go move into something you have no idea about. How are you juggling all this?
I don't know. That's a good. I don't know. It just put a smile on. I have learned something in nobody knows what I don't care if it's the president of the biggest company ever or the president of the United States or whatever. Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't think nobody knows what they're doing. And everybody is just faking it until they make it. And they're
Yeah.
all juggling. I guarantee, unless you're not taking action and doing things, everybody is,
Mm,
just figuring it out. And so what I have learned is I filter people. Like I absolutely want to help people. But like I have learned, I think like I have to make the mistakes and learn from it. So for example, this gal who's in Gators and it's like, I have this deal. I need you to help me wholesale it. I want to be the connector. I have the buyer. I have the seller. I have everything to go. Can you help me? And I'm like, absolutely. But they need to have their proof of funds first. They need to have their money first. Because how many times have the heart is there and you want to help people, but then people are just like, it's a pipe dream and there's no money. And it turns out the seller doesn't really want to sell. And da da da
yeah.
da 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 da. And so I am learning filters and I'm like, I will absolutely help you. Show me that you have the money and the sellers are like, I just need to talk to the sellers and the buyers, make sure everybody's like ready to go. Because I could spend 3 weeks on a deal that hire a TC, open escrow, get everything going. And it's not, so I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of filters. I have filters in place
Yeah.
to
You've
juggle
learned
things.
along the way.
And I look at my priorities. And recently, before I had not put my kids first, and I have a lot of guilt around that the last couple years. And so now I'm like, F all y'all. Kids come first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Money can come later. And
Yeah.
so I try to put I put
I
them first. But I don't juggle at all. I just figure it out as we go.
well, you mentioned you've mentioned it a couple of times now that it took you not putting your kids first to
Yeah.
realize I need to put my kids first. So that's, something that you've started with at least your values in place. And you said faith as well, faith, family.
Yes.
And so those things come first for you, for me. And if if somebody brings something that isn't in alignment with that, then it's an easy no for me.
Yeah.
I'm going through this speech competition right now, and I'm writing a 30-minute. I'm expanding mine into 30 minutes, and one of the pieces that I've had to sit with is, for a long time, I told my first son, "Hey, no, I got to take this call right now,"
Yes, it's
because
that thing.
yeah, like the phone always felt super important. It always felt super urgent. Like, especially as a wholesaler, I need another deal. I need another contract so I can wholesale it out, so I can make some more money, so I can put it back into advertising and the systems and all those things, so I could
Yes.
keep going. And it just feels like, he's always going to be there. And oh man, it makes me sad just talking about it a little
I
bit.
know, and don't you feel
But
awful just saying
yeah,
that?
yeah,
And I know I feel bad saying that too. I get it.
yeah. And so it's just, sometimes you got to go through the journey
You do.
in order to be able to go, nah, I got to say no to this. And like you mentioned, if you're not taking action, you're not going out there and failing and learning these lessons. I don't want to look at that as a failure. I want to look at that as a lesson that I learned, that
Yes.
now I'm able to be more present with them, because nope, I'm with them right now. Phone The phone doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, exactly, right. Um,
And I think on top of that is building a team out so they can take those phone calls. And
mhm,
two, um, time blocking and managing your calendar to the
yeah,
nth degree and be
yeah,
like, every Sunday, I look at my week and I'm like, this is what's going on. I know I have this every Tuesday and this, da, da, da. And the kids are home from school. And in the afternoons, I'm so lucky that if I don't have anything, I will take them to the pool, or we will go on a hike, or we'll have mommy and Rory day, or mommy and Blakey day, So it's kind of sad as it is, you got to put it into your calendar,
Yeah.
like be like non-negotiable. Just like showing up to work on time is non-negotiable when you have a job. Same thing with your after work stuff,
Yeah.
your family. So
And that goes the whole, I say the whole way up. Pace was on, geez, almost a year ago now. Well, 8 months ago. And he said this, like, I forget what his time slot was, but at 9 o'clock every day, I'm in the car taking my daughter to school. That is, my team knows you don't touch Pace now. This is, I'm not available. This is my time with her. And it's on the calendar, and it is an appointment that I've set with myself and my daughter. And I hold myself accountable to those appointments. So you mentioned the time blocking. Are there any other things that you're doing on a daily or weekly basis that are helping you to be present mom?
I do me in the mornings. I get up in the mornings, and if I don't do me in the mornings where everyone's asleep and I can read and I can have my coffee and there is silence and the birds are chirping, because I think it's important for all of us, moms and dads, especially parents of little kids, because it's so easy to get they come first. Like if somebody trips and falls, you can't be like, sorry, I just got to finish reading my book.
Yeah. Got a call.
So I think having time for me is very important. And filling my cup, because they say you can't pour from an empty cup, also helps me. So yeah.
Yeah, the cup analogy I love is we have to take, especially as parents, but just as entrepreneurs as well, because your team has cups. Everybody has a cup that they're walking around with, and everybody wants some out of your cup. And if you're not taking the time to refill your cup every morning, throughout the day, whatever it may be that works for you, when those kids come a knocking and you have nothing left, you end up reacting to them instead of being able to be peaceful and calm and responsive,
And you can yell or
Yeah.
scream or get frustrated or whatever your like default thing is.
Yeah.
It's easy to happen, especially if you're overstimulated. Yeah. So but I love what everyone's saying in the chat. A team is vital. That's another thing I've learned is do not be a lone wolf. I am a recovering lone wolf. Hi, my name's Carly. I used to try to do it all myself. The fastest way to burnout is doing it all on your own. So
Yeah. Hire people, bring people in, bring partners in,
yes,
friends that you can
trust.
meet the 20,000 people on Subto. There's
Yes,
plenty of people. Yeah.
for sure.
Do you have any on that topic, on the partnering, the bringing in who's, do you have any advice on how somebody goes about knowing that it's the right fit?
I think it's important. I have a gut instinct, and my gut is usually right. I think that's my a lot of people don't have that. I have a gut instinct, but it goes back to filters. So I've had people on my team where I'm like, hey, I need some help just like going through leads on my wholesale team. And if somebody's looking to be on a team, I can tell you how you can stand out right away, and how I know people are right is people show up. Because what happens is people get shiny object syndrome. I can't tell you, oh, I'm in it. Just give me a chance. So I'm like, okay. And we'd get them in there and we'd get them in the system. And I spend all this. This was another thing. I spent all this time training all these people, because remember, and this goes back into what we were talking, especially with parents or some other entrepreneurs, when someone says yes to you, they're saying no to everybody else and everything else in their life.
Yeah.
So I got really peed-o'd when someone's like, yeah, I want to help. I promise I'm in it. And I'm like, okay, I feel this from them. So I take a whole day aside and train them and get them in the system. And then they decide they want to do it on their own. And I'm like, you know what, dude, I said no to taking my kids to the pool so I could train you, so I could have more time. So I think also really diving into people's why and making systems, so I'm not taking 3 hours a day to train new people.
Yeah.
But I feel like people, it's hard it doesn't help anybody. My gut's been wrong, but I can kind of tell when people are wish-washy or they're going to be there for 4 minutes and then be like, oh,
Yeah.
someone's
It's like
talking
you're
about
speaking right
something
to
else
me.
over here. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
Or, and you know this as a wholesaler, sometimes stuff gets slow. And so like they're showing up, but they're not getting any deals. And they're like, I'm moving on to another team, which is fine. And I don't blame them for any reason. But as soon as
Yeah.
somebody moves on, it's like our team picks up and then they're square one again.
Yeah. You're like, you're missing out now.
Yeah.
I have gone through this. I couldn't tell you how many times, and Brittany probably knows the number more than that, is, hey, somebody wants to join and make calls and learn and along the way. And so I don't want to say bend over backwards, but in a little bit,
A
I'm
little
going to
bit.
bend over backward to help them up. I want to help.
Yeah.
And they touched my little bleeding heart. And then
Yes.
the next week they're gone. And I'm not talking to anybody specifically out there.
But you know who you are.
Yeah.
Talk to you
Yeah,
never.
not watching. Yeah. I have some. I know I want to be respectful of time here, and as we're moving on, you're leading with your values, and that is a big part, at least for me, when I'm talking to somebody to bring in, is, do you align with what I'm
Yes.
working on? And if that doesn't, if we're not in alignment there, it doesn't matter about your skills, like what your resume is, all those things, we're not a good fit. And
Exactly.
there are plenty of people out there that you'll be a good fit for. I love that you're saying show up.
Show up
I forget who I heard it from, but
consistently.
it was, yeah, it was, that's most of the battle. Like,
It
there's
really
so many
is.
people that could teach you how to do the thing. You just
Show
have to
up
show up. Yeah.
consistently, not
Yep.
for a week. And even if showing up is like making a call for 1 hour a day and then the next day making it 6 hours a day, you showed up for that 1
Yeah.
hour. You have
Yeah.
showed up for that team. It doesn't have to be balls to the wall 100% every single day.
Right. And
So
this is going back a ways. I want to, it was probably Bigger Pockets or something that I was listening to, but a filter that this person used was, go knock 100 doors.
and
Like,
then
hey,
join.
how do I have the conversation? Go knock 100 doors and
Yeah.
come back when you're done. And 90% of the people, probably more than that, didn't go knock 100 doors, never come back.
A filter for everything. They
Yeah,
filter themselves out.
Yep.
That's a good
And
one.
I need you to take action, but also you're going to learn a lot of those little first beginner things, going and knocking 100 doors, that I could have wasted time telling you, but it's more valuable for you to go learn firsthand.
Yeah.
And so when somebody like Carly says, hey, do this thing, and then we can talk some more, just go do it.
And
simple.
Nathaniel too. People
Yeah.
where you want to be and you ask them if they're in a place where you want to be and they tell you to go do something, do it for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I have some questions that I've started asking every guest,
I love
and
it.
they're fun.
I love fun
And
questions.
what is your biggest life lesson? Man, okay. I like to try to tailor it a little bit. We're just going to leave it open. What is your biggest life lesson that you've learned so far, and how did you learn it?
I think my biggest life lesson was to be kind to people. When I was little, I was not the bubbly person that you see now. I was very introverted, self-conscious. I was dyslexic. I repeated the second grade. And there was this girl who will remain nameless that was not nice to me. And she was not nice to me all the way up through high school.
Mm.
And I didn't have a lot of friends. And I was lucky if I got invited to birthday parties. I mean, I did have some friends. I wasn't a complete weirdo, but I wasn't like the cool kid at all. And I was kind of, I was just a little emotional Carly. And there's her best friend, the girl that wasn't nice to me, her name was Crystal, invited me to her birthday party, and I think at the chocolate shop. And I thought it was this nicest thing ever. And since then, I'm like, I know what it's like for someone to not be kind to someone. And my whole life, I vowed, I'm like, I'm going to be like Crystal when I grow up. Like, I am going to help the underdogs and be kind to people. I think I have a very sensitive soul, and I feel like people that are feelers can like feel that more. And so I'm just like, so I think you can't see this behind here. It says do good recklessly.
Oh yeah.
And I would like to joke, I'm like, don't be an asshole to other people was too much to put on a flag. Like, just be nice and be a good person. Like, you don't know what anyone is going through. You have no idea that somebody can put on the best, happiest face and you have no idea what they're going for. And kindness can change the trajectory of someone's life. And if you have that we all have that, is to not be rude to people and to be kind to people. You could change their life. You could save their life. I mean, it's not up to you to be a life changer or a life saver, but if you have that power within you, you can choose to be kind or you can choose to be mean. Why would you choose to be mean? And I'm not saying I'm kind all the time. I think I can be grumpy sometimes and at the end of my rope. And so I'm not saying I am the kindest person that ever lived, but it's the biggest life lesson. And I think it's the biggest lesson in life is to be kind.
Yeah.
So
Like if we just could all follow that, the world would probably be a little bit better of a place for sure.
Right.
And you never know what somebody is, like you just said, like sometimes I get to the end of my rope. When somebody's being mean to you, you don't know what the heck just happened to them, that
You don't.
maybe they're just at the end of their rope. And if you can just be calm and be nice to them, it could completely turn their day around.
Yes.
When you say that, I think of one specific instance a long time ago where I was not. And I think of it sometimes like, man, I could have just been calm and been nice to that person. I don't know. Like, they were mean first. And so I came back with mean. And that doesn't mean that's not right. You know?
And what do we tell our kids? Just because they're mean doesn't mean you have to be mean back.
Exactly. Just because he hit you, Harlan.
He did it first.
Yeah, he did it first.
That's why I'm like, I am not the pinnacle of kindness by any means. No. And I have those too, and we are all human. But the fact that you go back and you're like, ugh, should have I done that? It just shows that in the heart of hearts, you are a kind person.
Yeah. I mean, we try to be. That's what we should strive to be. We're going to fail. That's kind of the point, is that we go out. What's the most exciting thing you've done lately?
I went to a monster truck show.
Okay, that's pretty exciting.
With see the little things. I put my kids first. I used to go to monster truck shows when I was little with my dad, and so we went to we didn't go to the Monster Jam one. We went to the Bremerton one, which is the Ma and Pa one.
Okay.
So it just made me feel like a kid again, which it made me excited. And everyone's like, it's the little things, right? Like you feel like you're a kid again. So, yeah.
I could imagine the Ma and Pa one, at least to a certain extent, might be more fun because there's a little bit more of an element of they don't have this quite polished.
Okay, go on the internet and Google Bremerton Monster Truck Show where the monster truck's wheel falls off. This happened there. And goes into the parking lot and smashes a car. It's stuff like that. It's all over the internet now. That wouldn't happen at the Monster Jam that was put on by professionals.
Wow. So, I'm not totally sure what Ray's talking about here.
He thinks he's Batman, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You are. If that's what you believe, then you are. I support that.
If you could have dinner with anybody throughout history, who would it be and what would you want to talk about, Carly?
This is a little deep, but I'm going to do it. So it would be Jesus.
Okay.
Because I think, just a second, sweetheart. Yes, you can keep that purse. Because I feel like I'm in my 40s. I'm in this, spiritual awakening. And I feel like it's I'm just going back into history and I'm like, what did you really teach? Because there's the Roman Empire and then there's religion, and then there's the Catholics. I went to a Catholic school, so I'm not talking crap on anyone, where they're like, you have to go talk to a priest to talk to God to forgive your sin. And I'm just like, what? I just want to be like, what's the real story? Everybody's put their story on top of yours and with religion and used it to control people. I know I didn't know if you wanted to get this deep.
No, this is it.
But I'm balls to the walls on this. Yeah. So I would be like, what would you tell us today? Would you want to be worshipped? Would you, and I genuinely believe it goes back to be nice to each other, help people that are the less fortunate.
Yeah.
You know, don't judge other people. Don't be an a-hole. But
Yeah,
that's you asked, and there you
yeah.
go.
Well, no, that's good. Again, it's like you're kind of speaking right, right along with my journey right now because I'm
Yeah.
going through the spiritual awakening too, and that's something that I think about is like, where did Jesus was Jewish. Why
Right?
Christianity? Why Catholicism? What
Exactly.
are all these other things, dude? These all are offshoots. It seems like there was one thing and
Like,
it's all gotten a little discombobulated.
and you learn about history.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey. And you go throughout history and you learn how like the church would like invoke fear and religion, like you're going to hell if you do this, and there's layers on it to control people. And
Yeah.
I'm like, let's get to the root, which I think is just like be nice to each
Love
other,
each other.
be kind to each other,
Love your
be a
neighbors.
good person.
Yeah. I
Don't
hope
judge
that they haven't
everyone.
changed the 10 commandments over time because those are pretty rock solid. Like stick to those ones and be loving and kind.
Yeah.
You mentioned that this is going to be tough before we started the show.
Yeah.
But you have like 3 books that you could
Oh my
recommend
God.
that have moved your needle as an entrepreneur, as a woman, wife, mother,
Yes.
parent in general. Yeah.
Oh God, I can't pick one. My love language is like those personal and spiritual and professional development books. So
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, one right now is psycho. They kind of go hand in hand. Psycho-cybernetics.
I just started it like 2 days ago.
Oh my God. Okay, that goes hand in hand. So I'm going to make it all one book because
Okay.
it goes in the same thing as The Subconscious Mind by Power of Subconscious Mind. Rory, just a minute, my love. Yes. No, I don't know where it is, honey. Okay, sorry, kids, man.
No, you're good. Yeah.
The Power of the Subconscious Mind. So they all say the same thing. Oh, and Think and Grow Rich. They all say the same thing in a different way. Maxwell Maltz is like your self-image and your thoughts and what you think about and what you ruminate on is like God or the universe or whoever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it is saying yes. So if you're like, I'm a dum-dum and I'm stupid and I'm poor, and the universe or God says, yep, let me show it to you.
Yeah.
So whatever you believe in yourself is and your self-image, that those are like the 3 that I'm really diving into right now. And like I'm having ChatGPT help me dive into it. I'm like, help me understand,
Yep.
and like applying it to my life. Those are the 3 that and then I just started A Course in Miracles. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Okay. No.
So it's about this lady who she was an atheist and she was in education. I don't remember, some big school. And she she started getting someone talking to her. And it sounds woo-woo. But it isn't. But it's pretty, it's like the next, anyways. The Course in Miracles, look into it. It could be a Christian thing, and some Christians are like, it's not
Okay.
good type stuff.
I like that you said it sounds a little woo-woo because there's so many things that I've learned over the past however many years as an entrepreneur coming into Sub 2 and going through all the mindset stuff that seems woo-woo until you actually start doing it.
It does.
And then you're like, oh, wait a second.
Yes.
These things exist. There's a reason. What was the name of the second book? It was a Power of the Subconscious Mind.
And it really is. I feel like if you put all of those together and the teachings, if you're Christian, of the Bible, it all says the same thing when you dive down to it. It really does. I think it all says the same thing. So I'm really just in this spiritual awakening and like the history and the quantum mechanics and and the woo-woo and the psychology. I'm deep. I probably just took this podcast on a turn for
this is it. That's why I have this like last little 10 or 15 minutes because we go wherever the heck we go. And sometimes I wish that the podcast was 3 hours like a Joe Rogan kind of thing, because then we could really just go down the rabbit hole with stuff.
I love that.
We all have time constraints that
you
mentioned they're all saying similar things. I could put the law of attraction in there, probably the
Yes.
secret in there,
Yes.
probably
It's
that.
all the same. It's
Yeah,
all
you
of it.
just sometimes you need to hear it 5 different ways for it to click, or you need to hear it
Yes.
that you don't necessarily hear the first 4 ones because they didn't say it exactly how it resonates with you.
Yes.
But it's the 5th one that goes, "Oh, yeah, that's what they were talking about." So I love that, and that's the reason why we read or listen to so many different books is because you start to realize, "Oh, wait, there's some, you know, similarities here going on."
Yeah. And a good book for that, like, because you were talking about The Secret, because we all talk about, like, there's The Secret, but that's only just one. That's the law of attraction. That is,
Yeah.
so if you look up this book, it's a very easy read. It's by Deepak Chopra called The 8 or 7 Laws of Success. And it has the law of detachment, the law of attraction. It says exactly what Maxwell Maltz says is like how you think of yourself, like it manifests into real life. It's a very easy read, but it's all of those laws put in together and it's
Okay.
quick. So, but
Okay.
they all layer on top of each other.
Yeah. I think I have a guess here, but I've been proven wrong time and time again by my guesses. When your time on this earth is done, Carly, and you're up in heaven, hopefully, what do you
Hopefully.
want to be remembered for by the people that you left behind?
It's so weird. This is such a weird answer. I feel like to be kind and that I helped people and I made the world a better place.
Mm.
But also, I don't have that thing where a lot of people have where it's like, I want to be remembered. I don't. Yes, honey. I don't care if I'm remembered or not. Is that weird? Like, of
maybe a
course,
little weird.
I mean, by like the time that they're like, I just want to make sure that I made the difference now while I'm here.
Yeah.
And I made the
Yeah.
difference because everyone's going to die. I don't care if I'm memorialized forever. But I
Yeah.
think just that I was a nice person. And
I think
I'm
that's
not nice
like
all the
I'm
time,
1 for
but I try
78
to.
at this point.
I'm not perfect.
Oh, I got one right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So,
appreciate you coming on, Carly. I know that you
yeah.
got to jump off. RV rental roadmap.
Yes.
If you're interested in joining the 8-week cohort, you can always reach out to Carly at Carly Grundman. Is IG the best way to reach out to you?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
It is. That's where I
No wonder we've had such a hard time communicating. No, I'm just
Is it because IG is not yours?
no. I was just kidding.
Oh.
We've been talking on Facebook, but we were also talking before the show how difficult it is managing them all.
It was, I know. And then we're like
Yeah.
on email. And then I
Yeah.
wish there was if somebody wants to make a lot of money, if you can get all of your messages to be filtered into one thing where
Yeah.
you can search them.
Go High Level does that.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I love Go High Level.
Which we were also talking about.
Which
I
we
appreciate you, Carly.
Thank
Any
you,
last parting
Nathaniel.
words before you got to jump off?
No, I'm so grateful you had me on here, and it was great to getting to know you. And this is live streaming on my Facebook and YouTube.
Oh,
And
nice.
so for people that don't know who you are, where can they follow you, and how can my audience help you if they're watching this later?
As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I am a health and wellness coach for busy dads. So if you or anybody you know out there is feeling burnt out by your career, you're feeling like there's just not enough time in your day to take care of yourself, to fill your own cup, like we were talking about earlier on, that's something that I'm very passionate about helping people out with, especially dads, because I'm a dad, I'm an entrepreneur, and I align with that very well so we can speak each other's languages, so to speak. You can reach out to me directly. You can connect me with whoever might need to be or want to be connected, or you can join our Facebook group, Fit Fatherhood. It's Fit Fatherhood, a group for busy dads, something along those lines. You'll see me. Yeah.
Awesome.
I appreciate you, Carly.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much. Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Yolanda
having me.
says
I'm
hi.
so honored. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Have a blessed rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.
Carly Grundman. Amazing. I'm very blessed to have people like that come on the show and talk about their faith, their family, and how it is all aligning, especially somebody like herself that is doing so much in so many different avenues. I love the talking about, what'd she say? Focus on one course until success. Pick something and stick with it. That doesn't mean that you have to just stick with it if you hate it absolutely. But so many times we don't give ourselves the runway to get to success. We find ourselves being that miner at the end of the tunnel, inches from finding the gems, and turning around and hanging up our axe because we feel like there's nothing left on the other side for us. So pick something you're interested in, pick something you enjoy doing, and stay the course until you have success. You have to go out and fail. You have to go out and take action. I appreciate y'all for being here live. I appreciate y'all for being here in the future. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do so. If you haven't already, click the like button. If you know anybody that would get value out of this show or any of the other shows that we've done, please share them with us. Share us with them. Words matter. So we can reach more people and just affect more lives. We will be back next week, Wednesday, whatever the date is, at noon Eastern time for episode 100. We will be flipping the script. I will be getting interviewed and talking about all the things that I've learned over the past 100 episodes. I hope to see y'all there. Later.